And talking about Indian origins, the UK has something that belongs to India and it refuses to give it back. I'm talking about the Kohinoor, one of the world's largest cut diamonds. It is generally considered priceless, a jewel whose value cannot be quantified, but it's safe to say that the Kohinoor is the world's most expensive diamond. It belongs to India, but is currently languishing in Britain, on the crown of the Queen Mother. The United Kingdom knows that the Kohinoor can land it in an awkward position. And that is why it won't be used in the coronation of King Charles and his wife Camilla this May. You heard that. The British know that the Kohinoor is hardly something they can flaunt, and so they've decided to not use it during the coronation ceremony of their next king and queen consort. King Charles's wife, Queen Consort Camilla, has apparently chosen a crown for the coronation, and it doesn't have the Kohinoor. Instead, Camilla has chosen the Queen Mary crown. It was a replica, a duplicate of sorts, of the original Kohinoor. Now, we don't know if the replica will be retained in the crown, but the original fountain of light, as it is called, will not be part of the coronation. The Brits are making a big deal out of Camilla's choice of crown. I have a statement from the Buckingham Palace. This is what it says. The choice of Queen Mary's crown by Her Majesty is the first time in recent history that an existing crown will be used for the coronation of a consort instead of a new commission being made in the interests of sustainability and efficiency. Sustainability and efficiency, they say, how very noble. On the face of it, it's a cost-cutting measure. But there's more to the story. The Kohinoor is stolen. It is controversial, and it's hardly a choice now. It comes with a kind of baggage that the British monarchy can ill afford. The kind of baggage that can set off a diplomatic brawl between India and the UK. Britain has an Indian origin Prime Minister. Rishi Sunak is careful to not set off a diplomatic storm with India, not over something that was looted from India and which India still claims ownership of. Last October, India's Foreign Ministry spokesperson was asked when the Kohinoor would return to India. Here's what Arindam Bagchi said, and I'm quoting. We have said that we have been raising the matter from time to time with the UK government, and we will continue to explore ways and means for obtaining a satisfactory resolution of the matter. When Rishi Sunak became the Prime Minister, Indians were jubilant. Social media was flooded with jokes and memes. Indians were convinced that their chance to get the Kohinoor back was now. We say, hang in there. Not showing of the Kohinoor at the coronation ceremony is a step in the right direction, but the Brits can hardly make a virtue of it. The messaging from India has been very, very clear. A BJP spokesperson recently said, Camilla's coronation and the use of the Kohinoor crown jewel brings back painful memories of the colonial past. Safe to assume, the UK is not particularly inclined to bring those memories back. The Kohinoor is now part of the crown jewels of the United Kingdom. It was seized by the East India Company in 1849. It was a gift that the company gave to Queen Victoria. She wore it in a brooch. After Queen Victoria's death, the Kohinoor came down to Queen Alexandra. Then, in 1937, the diamond was transferred to the crown of the Queen Mother. Who was the Queen Mother? Queen Elizabeth II's mother. That's the brief British history of the Kohinoor, but India has a long and deep connection with it. It is said to have been mined in the Middle Ages during the reign of the Kakatiya dynasty. Legend suggests that the Kohinoor was in fact called the Syamantak money, or at least that's what it was called in India before it got a Persian rebranding. It has been described as a magical jewel in ancient Indian texts, but the first verifiable record of the Kohinoor's existence dates back only to 1740. The Kohinoor is said to have been one of the many precious stones embedded in the Mughal peacock throne. Then came Nader Shah from Iran. He plundered and looted India, took the Kohinoor with him. After his death, the diamond fell to Ahmad Shah Durrani, the founder of the Afghan Empire. After Durrani, it came in the hands of Maharaja Ranjit Singh, the founder of the Sikh Empire. It stayed in the Sikh Empire for quite some time. After the Second Anglo-Sikh War in 1849, Punjab was taken by the British. They came up with the last Treaty of Lahore, and in that treaty, the Brits stipulated that the Kohinoor must be surrendered to them. That's how the diamond landed in London. India has been pressing the UK to return it. London has been ignoring these calls. The first demand was made in 1947, then another request was shot off in 1953. Any guesses how the British responded? They simply rejected India's requests. They said the ownership of the Kohinoor was quote-unquote non-negotiable. In the year 2000, several Indian lawmakers signed a letter calling for the Kohinoor to be returned. By now, UK officials started parroting a strange line. They said there were too many claims on the Kohinoor and that it was impossible to identify the diamond's rightful owner. Basically, they were saying that they don't know who the Kohinoor actually belongs to, so they'll happily keep it in their possession. In 2016, India's Ministry of Culture said it would make all possible efforts to get the diamond back. But everyone's really slow. It took 150 years for the British to stop flaunting the Kohinoor. One wonders how many years it will take them to give it back to India.